Newcastle has turned on a beautiful day, a beautifully wild, beautifully windy and beautifully testing day for the Ironmen. We've already seen the Iron women out there doing their thing. It is now time for the Kellogg's Nutrigrain Ironmen in very, very testing conditions. All right, let's have a look at the points so far. And sitting atop, the young man Kendrick Louis is doing beautifully in front of Kai Hurst, Ali Day, Matt Poole, and great to see the veteran Phil Clayton down in there. The lady beside me is not a veteran, she is an Olympian. Nicole Livingston, Kai Hurst, couple of weeks ago at Portsea.
He was the king of Portsea, wasn't he? And he was so confident back then in round number 2 that he even did a tumble turn off the back of a wave to then stand up on his feet and run up the beach. He was surfing on his board coming in. So he's really owning his own confidence at the moment when it comes to racing. And I think today's conditions will be perfect for Kai Hurst because he has that experience and he's in a really good headspace.
You talk about experience, and these conditions lend themselves to experience. Who else do you expect to see up in the business end of the field?
Well, 2 of the older competitors, they're cagey, they're very experienced. Zane Holmes is one to watch out, and you mentioned him. He's looming in terms of point score, and that is Phil Clayton. He's a real dark horse out here. Watch out for him.
He's an excitement machine as well. A couple of the young fellas, they are excitement machines. They're right in the top 10 at this stage, and Guy Leach caught up with them earlier on.
Well, down here in the Red Bull Athlete Compound are with Matt Poole and Ali Day. Now, Paulie, last year at Bondi, eliminator format, you probably redefined the eliminator event in that you went flat out from race 1 and you asked the field, can you go with me? And you end up winning the day. Is that something that you look at doing today?
Well, yeah, definitely, Leachy. I've got my own tactics and my own strategies, and last year I wanted to shake the pace and rattle the older guys. You know, when those guys get to the front, they get so comfortable and they really dictate the pace. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go out early, I'm going to go with balls out, and if I happen to get eliminated early, so be it. But at least I went out there and tried to control the race and be a dominator, and it did pay off for me in the end, so I was pretty stoked.
Ali, 2 points off the lead in the series at the moment. Younger kid coming into the series, you've been fantastic in the first 2 rounds. I believe, and so do some of the other experts, that you can win the series this year. But the question is, do you actually believe you can win the series?
Oh, I think I can. I don't think I can, but I think I've got a little bit more growing and learning to do in this sport. Either I've been getting lucky last 2 rounds, or the hard work's starting to pay off. But just have to wait and see, Leachy, the next 4 rounds. Today's conditions are pretty tough. I'm looking forward to Perth and then to race at Coolum and Noosa. They're sort of like my hometown now, moving to Queensland. So yeah, just have to wait and see, mate.
Tell me this, I find it surprising that someone who's 2 points off the lead doesn't think they can win the series. Are you doing that to keep the pressure off yourself, or you actually really believe that you can't win the series this year?
I'd like to think I can win the series, but there's so many guys coming at, that are yet to hit their straps this season. Like Zane and Shannon and Kane, and I've got Paulie behind me, Hugh Doherty, Reece Drury, the list goes on. Wes Berg, that all want to have good races this year. So yeah, I just have to wait and see, Leachy. Just hopefully have a good race today, have a good race in Perth, and then just go on from there.
Well, boys, you've been doing well the first 2 rounds. Good luck today, and get into it.
Thanks, Leachy.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
And this is the course map for the men. 4 races today in the eliminator format, Nick.
Tricky conditions. They start with a swim, then they move into the ski, and then the board leg will be the final leg of the first eliminator. Now, the winner of the first race today will get to then nominate the first leg of the next race and then draw the other 2 out of a hat. They'll also get to nominate where on this starting podium that they will start from. An easy send off the starting podium to get the right direction up quickly.
So it is the eliminator format. We start with 21 competitors. You see Zane Holmes there just warming up. He is a fearsome unit, the man. He's dominated this series in the past. We start with 21 men. We lose 5 in the first round to go to 16, 4 from there on to go 12, and the final race will have the final 8 competitors to decide. Shannon Eckstein also looks in good condition. He's been suffering from a bit of a virus, Nicole.
Yes, he has. His brother, Kane Eckstein, gave it to him. Maybe a bit of pre-race tactics there, but it was all in the family because Kane got it from his sister's kids. So they've all kept it in the family, but I think Shannon is starting to feel slightly better. Kane was a bit crook at the Portsea round, and that perhaps explains his position in Portsea, which he was way down on the finish places, in 14th, in fact. So some great competitors here with lots of experience to be able to punch through these tricky conditions.
Phil Clayton there, He has had some fantastic results so far. Kai Hurst, after that great win at Portsea where he did that tumble turn. Mitchy Miller had a tumble down the stairs at Christmas, had some problems with some ribs, so he's still not 100%. And Wesley Berg there in the red, we saw him as well. Very, very impressive units with very, very impressive rigs, Nicole.
Yes, I have noticed that. Thank you for pointing it out. Matt Hall is starting the race for us.
Great to see Hoyo down there. Matt Hoy came second in the ASP at World Tour a few years ago. A big Newcastle man. Doesn't mind a bit of ink either, Nick.
He does look very good and he surfs quite well too. The boys just working out their lines there. There's Bookie, the race referee. Just making sure. It's been hard to keep the boys that they go around out in the ocean. It's been actually quite hard to keep them stabilised today. The conditions have been blown around a lot by southerly.
See a sign in the background, the light blue, about Kenrick Louis. He is the man in the black jersey and he's leading the series. Just about 8 from the left. He's been very consistent.
There's been a lot of talk though of the curse of the black jersey. Will he be able to hold on today, Kendrick Louis? They're set for a start.
Matt Hoy does the job. Kai Hurst sprinting down in yellow, leading the field. He's the strongest swimmer out there, and you would imagine he'll start well there. Rhys Drury in the brown and Matty Poole in the pink, all heading out. And there in the left of shot is our series leader in the black jersey. Keep an eye out for him, young Kendrick Louis, who's been in great form. And Zane Holmes in the light blue, looks like he's leading them out.
Yeah, Zane Holmes has got off to a great start, but a big movement from Kendrick Louis on the start. He ran flat out to the left just to get himself there on the furthest left position. And in fact, he's got almost there, second furthest left. It looks like Tommy Atkinson right beside him.
Well, Kendrick Louis hasn't put a foot wrong, has he, in those first 2 rounds? Come through the trial, won the trial, and he's really done a Matty Poole, hasn't he, from the previous year, and coming through the trial, winning it, and really sort of posting every place in the round. And he's doing that right now. Corey Jones up there as well with the long hair. He's up there in a nice position. Zane Holmes I'm looking to today to really sort of right the wrongs of the first 2 rounds. I think that in these types of conditions, in this type of format, Zane Holmes is a real threat to win.
Oh, we saw Kirsty, his sister, make it through all the way to the last race in the women's. So obviously from a family point of view, they've been around in surf lifesaving for a very long time. Demby as well, the other sibling that's an excellent surf lifesaver. So they've got the experience there as we look at Kendrick Louis putting some nice strokes in through this.
Well, the previous season we talked about the black jersey, the curse on the jersey, and the fact that, you know, if you got the jersey, things went wrong. And Courtney Hancock found that out only a short time ago, in that she had a disastrous first race, knocked her out in the eliminator, and she will not be the leader leading into the next round here in WA. So the question is, can Kendrick Louis basically right the wrongs of that curse and take that black jersey today and do a hell of a job?
Well, Kendrick Louis has been extremely consistent, the young man. He leads with a 4th place and a 3rd place. He is leading the series so far.
To me, I really wanted to prove that I could do it and match it with these guys, and you know, at the moment I am. So I'm extremely happy, and I'm having the best time. Like down at Portsea, I was, you know, in between like the first and second races, I was just sort of laughing at myself, like I'm having so much fun here. You know, and it was like the surf wasn't that big, or, you know, it was pretty terrible conditions, but I was just having the best time, and, you know, I was just loving every minute of it.
Trevor Hendy is out on the water, and Trev, you told me at the start of the series, keep an eye out for this young man, Kendrick Louis, because he could be right there when the whips are cracking.
Yeah, what I love about Kendrick is he's from a very strong pool swimming background, and we get quite a few pool swimmers switch over and do Ironman, but not many of them have that poise and that kind of strength and that balance that he does. And he's so good on the ski and board. He's a great runner. And I think my comment to you, Harry, was he doesn't have a weak leg. And considering he is such a strong swimmer, look out for him. And he's certainly showing at the moment. He's a real talent. He's great to watch too.
He certainly is, Trev. I was interested in reading the lead up to the Ironman series this year, that he said he was scared of the surf until he was about 10 or 11 years of age. He's certainly overcome those fears. And Guy, one of the ones that you've said to look out for today is Ali Day, and I just saw his familiar blue engine top there.
Surprised a little bit, Leachy. You asked him some very good questions earlier on, and you asked him whether he thought he could win the series, and he actually said to you, I don't think I can, which, love watching Ali Day race. I was surprised by that answer.
Yeah, not one that you're expecting a young fella that's doing so well, as we watch Zane Holmes now that leads into the front. But I was taken back, you know. I think that there's two parts of that. One is that he still feels a little bit overawed by the position he's in this series, and he's wanted to be in the series for so many years. I think the second one is that he doesn't want to put too much pressure on himself and be in a position where he feels that pressure coming into the latter rounds. He's only 2 points off leading the series at the minute, and he trains with Kendrick Louis and Matty Poole. He knows what he needs to do to win the whole thing, but I think it's about keeping the pressure off himself.
Well, Trev, we just had a great shot of you doing your thing on the Red Bull ski. Tell us what you're seeing going around the buoy there.
I'm seeing a lot of experience come to the front, Nick. There might be a chance for all of us yet. Zane Holmes is in front, Kai Hurst second, Shannon Eckstein sitting on his shoulder, Phil Clayton right on his feet, and then Corey Jones right there as well. So that experience right up there near the front of the pack.
Kai Hurst, Zane Holmes, all trying to push onto the front of that wave. Leachy, some beautiful body service out there, and you'd back Kai Hurst because he's so good in this situation.
We saw in the girls' race that they want to lead from the front. The top competitors want to make sure they're out in front. Tricky conditions today, very technical from an Ironman racing point of view, and because of that, the best place to be even early on is they'll push down this one here, so they'll drive down the wave. Great piece of body surfing. We've got at least 7, maybe 8 competitors on this wave, and that'll make a difference. And so 21 we start with. We knocked 5 out in this first round to get down to 16. So these guys on the wave at the front here are in a nice position.
Well, Kai Hurst held that beautifully. He was on it with the other 6, and he just really milked it. Let me guess, Phil Clayton, there he is there. Of course, if there's a wave to be caught, Phil Clayton's going to get on it.
Well, his dad's been going around to all the races, and I think he's got renewed youth watching his son go around, and it's just fantastic to see him, you know, up there and all the fan club watching Clado. And he's really put a lot of colour back into the sport, hasn't he, this year? He's just so keen and interested in the sport. Hayden, Kai Hurst coming out of the water first. Remnants of Portsea.
Yeah, Kai has come out of the water first. He's just picked a better line. This low tide this afternoon, there's a big gutter to the north, but the bank runs right the way in, a bit further south near those rocks, and Kai hit that perfectly, and he had a great run up into the interchange.
Well, Hayden, you know, it's quite inclement on the beach, wind and a bit of rain coming through, but the crowd's come down in force, haven't they, to watch this? It looks like Ironman's really back and pumping here in Newcastle.
That's exactly right, Leachy. You know, the rain and the wind, it's not keeping the crowds away. The mob is absolutely loving it down here. They've got their signs, they're cheering, they're loving it. They're having a great time, almost as much fun as myself.
Talking about signs, we might see one later in the coverage, Guy Leach, that I saw on the beach earlier on that's got you in an unusual position. So stick around for that. We might see Guy in his heyday a little bit later on. There is Ali Day, the man we were speaking about. The only thing you need to avoid here, Nicole, is finishing in the bottom 5, because that is the end of your day as Mitchy Miller just punches away through a Matty Poole, the man in pink, looking in good nick.
Yeah, the red zone for this first race is 5 athletes, so we'll bring that to you as they start the second leg of this first race, and that will be the ski. I do have to correct you on one thing though, Mark Howard, and I know I'm not supposed to do that. Guy Leach is still in the prime of his life.
I'll slot you that $50 a little bit later. Appreciate that. The all-important ski league, now the East League coming through.
That left us speechless for a moment.
I did. I was gobsmacked. Is that a word, gobsmacked?
You wait to see the poster of Leachy if you think we're gobsmacked now. Kai Hurst is leading them out at this stage. He was wonderful at Portsea. Nicole, he impressed you with his tumble turn, with his stand-up surfing, and possibly even his rugged good looks. He's got the all-round package.
Yeah, he is the all-over package, and he's also now coming up to being a dual Olympian, having qualified for 2012 in London in the open water there at Hyde Park. One colour I did see out there was Wes Berg. He is putting in a great first leg in this first race. I met, obviously we know Jade, his wife, but I met Miller, the little daughter, this morning. She is the most beautiful one-year-old I've ever seen.
She was sitting on top of his ski. We see him on picture now, on top of his ski on the sand, sitting in the seat there as if like she was trying to learn how to paddle. She's about 1 year of age. So
well, her mum,
it's begun already.
Her mum was a champion Ironwoman as well, in Jade Sutcliffe. So the pedigree's there. We'll have to wait in 17 years, Howie, when you're calling the Ironwoman series to see young Miller.
Maybe little fat Sky Howard, who needs to drop a few kilos at age 2, might be there as well. But she needs a bit more training at this stage. But there is the man in black. He has been extremely consistent. He hasn't won around, but he's just putting himself in the right position. He's only a young man, but he's done extremely well, and he's leading them out at this stage. But out in front is still Kai Hurst.
Trev, conditions compared to the women's race, similar?
Ski. Yeah.
Trevor, conditions the same as the women's race? Changed at all?
Mate, it's so much so that I'm having trouble concentrating out here. It's actually a little bit windier than it was at the finish of the girls' race, but chop-wise, it's still really, really standing up. Hershey's paddle past me just at the moment. Looks really good. He made a comment that he'll probably start talking to me more because he's feeling more comfortable. Now, that's pretty honest. Starting to feel comfortable. He was so dominant so many years ago. Hasn't cared about it for a few years. Now he's come back, super strong. As I see it, there's an Australian military jet flying past him, and it's pretty impressive.
Well, Kendrick Louis, our series leader, just having a little bit of trouble getting out there. He must have copped a little bit of damage. He hasn't got through into clear water at this stage.
Well, there's still more to come, Nick. You can see there's rising of the swell. He needs to keep pushing forward. The red zone's coming up now, so at the moment, Tibbetts, Drury, Linden and Hamilton are all in strife and they need to move up, but there's still plenty of racing to go as Corey Jones makes his way through. We'll come out of the break and we'll see just who's going to get through in the first race here at Newcastle.
Welcome back to the Kellogg's Nutrigrain Ironman Series. They are the waves of Newcastle Beach, a beautiful part of the world, and Kai Hurst is certainly enjoying it at the moment. He's got about a 60-metre gap on the field in this first of 4 races in the Eliminator. You cannot afford to finish in the bottom 5, and none of these men here are Kane Eckstein in the orange with the black ski. Corey Jones is also doing extremely well at this stage. It's a matter of conserving energy and saving enough, getting yourself through round by round and making your way through to that final race.
Thomas
Kai Hurst is doing that well.
Thomas Trembath, we haven't spoke much about him in the last couple of rounds, Nick, but he was up there as well. But Hayden, it's remnants of the first race at Portsea with Kai Hurst jumping the field in the swim league and making every post a winner.
Hayden's that excited that he's lost the microphone for a moment down there, but Kai has been exceptional, Nicole. You said you had a chat with him. He just seems in a very, very good place at the moment.
He is in a great place, and I do remember last year's series, he came in a little bit heavier than we'd seen him previously, and that was because of all the open water races he was doing. Now he's qualified for London. He seems like he's trimmed back down, and Hayden, I would suggest that you've just got a good look at him going past. He doesn't seem to be carrying too much weight.
No, he's not carrying much weight at all, Nick. He's looking fit and ready to go. Like we said, Portsea, he killed it, but we're talking about posting his way into the sport. I found another poster. Wait for this one.
Talk about him, good Nick.
Talking about good Nick. What about the great Kyle Leach? Look at that. We've seen some good signs down there today, but this has got to be the best.
For those who wear nothing, how long ago was that, Leachy?
1991.
Is that?
Can everyone see the earring?
Yeah, and the long Andre Agassi hair. But the other thing is it's laminated. Who laminates a poster of you?
I walked down from the Seagull Hotel to come down here. And
a man came up to me. Stop with the story.
A man came up to me and said, listen, this has been on the wall of my wife's in our room for 25 years. It's time to give it back to you. Is it fair enough? And he handed it to me.
Well,
straight in the wall.
We need to move on nude posters of you, my friend, because that's going to put people off their Nutrigrain this afternoon. Kendrick Louis, he's battling to hold on to this wave. He's got to straighten that ski up, and he's done well. He's in the middle of the field at the moment, so he just want to get a bit of a run along. You can see there nearly a 10-kilometre distance overall for the 4 races today. And Kendrick Louis making his way up the beach now.
Oh, we talked about the curse of the black leader's costume, and we saw Courtney Hancock go out in the first race of the women's. There are 2 legs to go, but he is well and truly in that red zone, Kendrick Louis.
He is.
You thrown me with that poster. Concentrate after that.
You're ahead of your time. You know, we see Michelle Bridges in the paper today, nude. That was 20 years ago, mate.
Yeah, it's 1991.
Kane Eckstein looks like he is trying to punch his way through the field, and he's an aggressive man. He's got a bit of fire. Nicole, I know you enjoy speaking to him down on the beach. He had a rough run at Portsea, and we caught up with him during the week.
I like the enduros. They're always going to be my favourite and my bread and butter and stuff like that. So, you know, just to get through, you know, race 1, round 2, and I go better as I you know, keep going. So hopefully I can, you know, just blow out the cobwebs in the first ones and maybe have a little bit of luck and, you know, feel good for the next races. But yeah, if I get to the last race, you know, I'll be confident and hoping I can sort of put my best foot on the line and, you know, give the fast guys a bit of a crack.
Indeed he will. He'll be very hard to beat next week in Perth. Tell us a little bit about Kane Eckstein, because he's a fearsome competitor. Leach, you've spent a lot of time with him and his brother. He seems to run on aggression and anger. I love watching him race.
Look, he's a good individual in the sport. He's a real character. He loves building up the aggression within himself before a race, and he seems to get the best out of himself. He is the endurance animal on the field, and when we go to Perth next week, in that hot conditions, And a long racing Nick, he's going to be the favourite for sure, and he'll love those conditions. Today, not so much Trev, but what he needs today, Trev, is to be up near the front and position himself well for the series overall.
Yeah, he does. And, you know, we haven't seen Kane in the last round of the eliminator. Last year he got eliminated before the end in the last race. That endurance starts to shine through near the end for him. So I'm looking forward to seeing him have a good short course race, because he'll be hard to beat next week in Perth.
He certainly, he showed last year at Bondi. He just missed out on making the final. We had our 6 in the final. He just missed by making a little mistake on the ski. He felt that day he could actually go close to winning. So he's up there right now in this first race and looking good. Tommy Trenbarth's up there as well, so well done to you. And as you see Matt Poole go through, so I'm fascinated by Kane Eckstein. He's quite an internal character, likes training by himself, very different to Shannon, but probably the most intense athlete in the field.
Yeah, and I think that's the way Kane deals with pressure as well. One of the things, we can see how they're paddling, we can see all the waves and everything else, but what you can't see is the pressure. You can't see what they're going through, what they're thinking, what they're feeling about themselves. And different people handle it different ways. That's the way they call it, the curse of the black leader's jersey. That's just pressure. But Kane Eckstein does it. He goes out there, gets aggressive, fires himself up, and more often than not, we see some magic out of him.
Trevor Hendy to Hayden Quinn.
I'm not sure if you can see Kendrick from where you are, but when he came past me, he was 4th last. So he's in that bottom 5 red zone and not looking good with the leader's jersey on at all. Can you see him from where you are, Trev?
I can't see him just yet, actually. And here he comes now. He's going around the can. He's got to pass 2 people to get back in position. So,
Trev,
2 or 3.
How does his facial expression look to you, Trev? Is he concerned?
Well, I'm still a distance away from him, but I don't like the look on his face, no. I think he's looking pretty concerned. He's working hard. The trouble for him is that these guys in front of him are about 50, 60, 70 metres in front of him right now.
Well, Courtney Hancock in the women's race got knocked out in the first race, which then put paid to her race leadership. Is that going to be the same now for Kendrick Lewis? So we will find out pretty soon, but at the moment, that black jersey does not give you a lot of luck.
Great comments brought to you there by the 6-time Australian Ironman champion in the water, Trevor Hendy. Hayden Quinn's on the beach. A man that's won a couple of Coolangatta golds is beside me, Guy Leach, and an Olympian, Nicole Livingston, an all-star cast, doing beautifully here at Newcastle. And this man, he's been to the Olympics once. He's heading off again to Beijing, Kai Hurst, and he is just cruising into the beach. He's done enough to make sure he progresses through. Looks like Corey Jones, the Seagull, is coming in as well as the rest of the boys. Matty Poole in there in pink, just making sure they qualify nicely through to the second round.
Well, you've got these guys coming in. Corey Jones didn't have a great race at Ports. He was so good at Surfers Paradise, so he's bounced back, having a great first race. So it's going to be good to see who comes in now. We've got Matty Poole coming in, but Kendrick Lewis, the big story at the moment. He is back in that back 5, and the series leader with the black jersey, is he in trouble of missing out and not going through the next round?
Kai Hurst backs up his performance in Portsea. Hugh Doherty in there, Shannon Eckstein in the grey, Matty Poole in the pink. They're all going beautifully, as is Tommy Trenbarth. Well done to him. Kendrick Louis, there he is. He's still back in the deep water, in the green water at this stage. Leachy, we lost Courtney Hancock in the first round. Gee, we could lose our men's leader the way things are shaping up as Wes Berg comes in to the view in red as well. So he'll be through. Hayden is down on the beach with Kai Hurst.
Kai, mate, another great start. Similar to Portsea, the conditions out there today, very windy.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. Very similar to Portsea, like you said, so it's just a matter of getting out there and trying to be smart. I don't think power is such a, the key here. It's about getting out there and trying to be clean the whole way around and do the right things and make no mistakes.
Well, you've certainly done that, mate. Let's hope you can keep it up for the rest of the rounds.
Thanks, mate.
Well done to Kai Hurst. Mitchy Miller's across the line. At this stage, there is our series leader, Kendrick Louis. And the boys on the beach have said they can't see anyone behind him at this stage. The full results after the break. Reece Drury's across the line. The big story developing here at Newcastle, though. Our series leader, that man there, Kendrick Louis, could well be in the red zone. He might be done at Newcastle.